Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clearing the View, an investor series from AtlasClear Holdings, trading on the New York Stock Exchange, ATCH. It's created to foster transparency, clarity, and ongoing dialogue with shareholders and the broader market. AtlasClear is a technology-enabled financial services platform modernizing trading and banking infrastructure. And today we'll be discussing their latest strategic moves and how they align with the company's long-term vision and what that could mean for investors. Happy to welcome Executive Chairman John Shibley and President Craig Ridenhour. Nice to see you, gentlemen.
Good
Thank
morning,
you for having
Anna.
us in.
All right, I'm going to start with you, John. Talk to us about Commercial Bancorp.
Commercial Bancorp is a Federal Reserve member bank that we identified previous to our de-SPAC, probably going back to 2017 or 2018. It's been around for a little over 110 years. It's been a Fed member for about 60 years. It's a very clean, very profitable small bank in Pine Bluffs, Wyoming, that we've agreed to acquire.
And with this acquisition, Craig, how does this fit into your growth strategy?
Well, it fits very well into our growth strategy. We've been very vocal about this for the last few years that we had intended to get to this point. The agreement that we just announced was that we updated our actual purchase agreement. We formerly had a merger agreement. Now we've got a purchase agreement. It aligns us with a direct 100% ownership, which was always the intention, but we cleaned it up because we're about to go in and file with the Fed for hopefully the approval of that. But how it really fits in longer term is that it's a key component of our long-term growth strategy, in that with the banking that we can do, with the services we can provide from the banking side, combined with Wilson Davis, which is our correspondent clearing firm, we will internally create cash deposit sweeps from Wilson Davis over into the bank, which will help increase our deposit thresholds there. And consequently, we can extend credit back out from the bank back through Wilson Davis to the clients of Wilson Davis that want to trade, for instance, on margin, with fully liquid collateralized securities supporting those margin loans, which we think are the best loans out there that you could possibly do. So from a pure banking strategy, it fits very well into our model. And then what it also does, it creates a one-stop solution for us to go out and target the small institution space in the U.S. and beyond the borders of the U.S. eventually, and provide them a solution that they don't currently have because they can't get into the larger providers just because of their size. So it fits very well into what we're doing.
Fantastic. And John, talk about how this acquisition will impact the financials.
Well, from a straight perspective, the bank will be immediately accretive to us once we're approved to acquire it. If you look at the bank's numbers from 25, they did about 1.9 million in revenue with net income of over $500,000. But as Craig pointed out, we'll be able to generate more revenue combining Wilson Davis with the bank, moving the deposits from Wilson Davis into our own bank, having our bank extend credit back to our own customers will not only generate a more complete net interest margin for those margin loans, it'll also allow our customers to have more money to buy and sell more product. So the acquisition will be immediately accretive, but it'll be more important from a synergy perspective. It will allow us to be the most efficient provider of prime services. It will allow us again to sweep our own deposits, and it will allow us to maximize our net interest margin, which from a bank perspective is what you really want to do. And to Craig's other point, we're going to be extending loans against products that we're holding in custody, against liquid financial products. And so the safety that it'll provide us is really profound. And because it's a bank, it'll position us to be able to move into additional financial products that we want to get into, such as FX and crypto.
Fantastic. And what a way to start the year. So, Craig, can shareholders expect additional acquisitions?
Yes, we are. We are. We spent, as we've spoken about on previous clearing the view, and other interviews we've done. We spent the first year and a half approximately of our being public, basically cleaning up the balance sheet, getting ourselves into a position to now go into this year into acquisition mode. So technically, Commercial Bancorp has always been in the hopper, but it will be our first acquisition. Again, we have to go through the Fed approval process, which will begin shortly. But we already have identified a number of potential acquisitions that fit in again to our long-term plans, not the next 6 months, but the next 6, 12, 24, 36 months and beyond, and how it fits into our overall strategy, one from a financial technology and platform perspective, but also accretive revenues, the right management, the right fit for what we want to build as far as the long-term platform and vision of AtlasClear Holdings to really provide that one-stop solution, not only to the smaller institution space, but longer term to the much larger institution space. So I think the investors and the public should be excited. I think we've got a number of things on tap, and certainly Commercial Bancorp getting to this point, about to go into the Fed. We're excited about the opportunity to hopefully receive that approval. And I think the public can expect more from us in the future.
And Craig, if
Well,
I can add something on that, which I think is important, was in our release this morning about the acquisition and the new contract. The present shareholders of the bank are selling the bank and accepting a little bit more than 73% of the total acquisition price in our own stock. And they've made that decision because they think of our stock as extremely undervalued. They like the long-term vision. And from our perspective, we like the alignment. I think 73% of the purchase price coming in our public company stock is the best imaginable outcome for the acquisition of a clean, profitable Federal Reserve member bank.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you for this and the best of success in this acquisition and moving forward. We appreciate this conversation and this insight, and we'll certainly be watching closely as Atlas Clear moves through this next phase of growth. So thank you, John. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for watching.